Hi, welcome back to Lam Rim. And we're at Diamond Mountain. And thanks to all the crew, especially Peter and Jordan there. They all Hachi, anybody, Alec, Janet, Delta, and what's your name again? Jigme. And this is a really exciting Lam Rim. I like it because we finally reached bodhicitta after 10 years of working on this Lam Rim book. We've reached finally bodhicitta. We have done 36 retreats already in 10 years, and this is number 37. And I just feel like we're sitting in a bath in a warm tub, finally, after struggling through impermanence and the sufferings of all the realms and things like that. Then finally we get to talk about beautiful things like bodhicitta and being a bodhisattva. And so let's jump into it. This is a typical device used by the Buddhist teachers where they sell you an idea. Okay, it's like, I don't know, in America we say like selling you a car. If you bought a car recently, I mean, you go to the place and the guys they're really good at it. By the time you leave you feel like it's almost patriotic to buy this car, and that you're getting, but the car seller is a bodhisattva, and he just wants you to have this car at a good price. And I don't know, it's very hard to not listen to them. They're very convincing, and it's what they do. And they judge you immediately. They understand, how to talk to you immediately. And it's amazing. So anyway, it's a tradition in Buddhism that you sell a great idea and you talk about how cool is it. So I think we're going to enjoy this particular Lam Rim retreat because the whole thing is a sales job about why getting bodhicitta is so cool, why it's so cool to have bodhicitta. So for me, it's fun. It's going to be fun, a fun retreat. And then today, I think we have a special class. After this class, we'll have a special discussion between myself and Dr. Wu about the medicine Buddha practice and where does it fit into the Lam Rim and what we're studying now. So we'll do an hour of that, and then we'll come back to the benefits of bodhicitta. I think it's important to. I'm lucky because I was not a Buddhist when I first heard these teachings. So I had just got to Asia. I was just in my first classes. There was a Geshe teaching, Geshe Ngon Dargye, and he had a translator, Sharpa Rinpoche, Tenzin Tinley, who's in the Vajrayogini lineage. And I didn't know anything. And there was about 20 hippies from different countries, and we didn't know anything. And so there were lots of misunderstandings in the beginning. The translator was very young, and the Geshe was from a very strange Eastern dialect part of Tibet, where they spoke a strange dialect. So the whole thing was a study in misunderstanding. We would learn words, and then we'd all talk about it in a mistaken way for a couple of weeks, and then finally somebody would say, no, I figured out it's not that, So bodhicitta is one of those words that it took about, I don't know, it actually took a few months for us to figure out what it wasn't. And so bodhi means Buddha, right? And then chitta means mind. So everybody was calling it enlightened mind or Buddha mind. And then it was confusing because you're supposed to get it, you're supposed to study it in order to become a Buddha. But if you got it, how come you're not a Buddha if you already have a Buddha mind? And it was very confusing. And I mean, the whole transmission of Buddhism to these hippies in the Himalayas who made it to the Himalayas. Some people took buses across Turkey and Iran, and we didn't know what was going on. And it took so long to figure out that bodhicitta doesn't mean Buddha mind. It means the wish to become a Buddha. Okay, so here chitta means wish, the aspiration to become a Buddha. And then you're like, well, that's why I came here to the Himalayas, and it was hard, That's why I have diarrhea this week, the whole week, because, I have a desire to become a Buddha, so why do I have to study that? That's why I'm here. And then they say, no, there's the real one, and there's the almost real one. Sugarcane bodhicitta? It tastes like sugar, but it's not real sugar. Sugarcane skin bodhicitta. So then we were like, wait a minute, bodhicitta is not Buddha mind? Right. And Buddha mind means, I want to be a Buddha mind? Right. And there's a real I want to be a Buddha mind, and there's a not real I want to be a Buddha mind? Right. And then we just got all confused. And then the translator didn't speak much English, actually. It was, I don't know, but we learned better somehow because nobody understood anything. And we had to figure things out. So anyway, I guess there's a point, right, where you have the real desire to become a Buddha, okay? Then there's a question of, does it have to be a direct cosmic experience? Do you have to have something happen? Maybe while your channels are open, maybe while your prana is running free, maybe after you see emptiness directly. Do you get bodhicitta before that, or do you get bodhicitta after that? And is there like a super bodhicitta where you can actually see all the beings in the world or something in the universe? So all these questions came up, and we're going to try to straighten those out. Okay, so I guess the first thing to say is that bodhicitta is it's not that you're already enlightened, right? Bodhicitta is what makes you, there are going to be 10 different selling points for bodhicitta. And as we go through the different advertisements for bodhicitta, then you'll start to understand what it is better. And the first way to approach it, traditionally, is to find out how cool is it to get bodhicitta. Okay, so I think it's going to be a really fun retreat because it's just, 15 classes of how cool is it to get bodhicitta, and how cool is it to get that. And then by learning how cool is it, we're going to learn about how to do it, how to get it, okay? And it's not easy, They talk about it in this retreat, about a Sangha, Arya Sangha, who worked for 12 years in a cave to get bodhicitta. And they say it's not easy. It's not like you're going to hear one retreat and then suddenly you're going to get bodhicitta. It's going to take a lot of work. So it's something that's like, I think it's like learning piano or something. It takes a lot of commitment, and it's going to take time, and it's difficult. It's not that you can just sit down and start doing it, It takes a lot of work. You have to work at it. And it's worth it, There's 10 cool things that are going to happen to you if you get it. So the first cool thing we covered in the last retreat, number 36, and that was take chen ki jugo. Say take chen ki jugo. And by the way, I'll go through the original language. First of all, because it's such a huge blessing. The teacher who taught this text, Pabongka Rinpoche, is probably, in my opinion, the greatest teacher of the last century. And unbelievable teacher, able to teach to normal people. He was a geshe from my college, Gerong Kanten, in Serame Monastery, which is the best Tibetan monastery. And just kidding, not. And he was also a Lingse Geshe, which is my level of Geshe. He was he wasn't the highest Harambal level of Geshe, but he was he was a Lingse Geshe, maybe called second level Geshe. And then he was known for his ability to talk to normal people. So he was very popular among the normal people of Tibet, the farmers and the herders and the people like business people and military people. He was very famous for being able to talk to normal people. So anyway, and the book he wrote was the teaching he gave for 24 days was edited by Chijang Rinpoche, who was my teacher's teacher. And he's such a great writer and such a great thinker that, and I believe he spent about 10 years writing the transcript, fixing the transcript. And I believe that this book is the greatest example of Tibetan literature there is. This is the greatest book ever written in Tibetan language. I think so. And the language is the greatest that was ever written in Tibetan. And after that, because of the political problems in Tibet, the level of the language dropped. And so I think it will always stand as the greatest example of Tibetan writing there ever was. So I'm going to teach you directly from the book. And it's not just for you, it's for future generations also who maybe want to learn it. Otherwise, it'll be gone. I think this tradition will be gone. And my teacher taught it for 30 years. He taught it 3 times through. And so because I was his assistant, what do you call it? Attendant, slave. I got to hear all 3. I was the only person who heard all 3. Anyway, it was an honor to be able to do it. So the first advertisement we already covered in the last class, Tekchen di Juko. Tekchen means Mahayana, the greater vehicle, greater capacity. Okay, people of greater capacity. We were just talking about moms, people who are moms, and they have more capacity than, I've never been a mom in this life. So, but I can observe that moms have greater capacity than other people. So they're just able to do more, to help more people, they're able to give up themselves for other people. My students, there's a second virus going on in Sedona. It's a baby virus. Everyone's having babies. And I mean, from one way, it's very irritating for me because, like a translator gets sidetracked for 10 years. And, I have to put up with bad translations while the kid's growing. But on the other hand, they gain something, especially the boys who have babies. They learn selflessness. They learn how to not be selfish. They learn to give themselves up for somebody else. So, and then in the end, I think it makes them a great translator. So I put up with the 10 years. It's okay. But if you've had a child and you've made those sacrifices, then you're a different kind of person. So that's like Mahayana, Tekchen. Juggo means once you get bodhicitta, once you get the wish to become a Buddha for all living beings, then Juggo means you enter Mahayana. You are in a different class of people. Okay? And I don't know, the way I grew up, at Princeton I studied Buddhism. And, there's Mahayana historical schools, and then there's Hinayana historical schools, Theravada schools. And it's a different school, and I don't know. In Princeton it was quite dry. The difference between the schools was very dry and boring. I still remember how boring it was. And so if you tell me, if you get this bodhicitta, you become Mahayana, I'm like, well, that's not so exciting. It's just a different dry school, You go from one dry school to the other dry school, wow, and now you're Mahayana. And it's not like that experientially, okay? Mahayana here doesn't mean a different school of Buddhism or a different historical school of Buddhism. Okay, what it means is you join a very, very select group of people. You join a very unusual group of people. We kind of do it in DCI. In DCI we have a thing called Diamond Club, and when we used to tour around the world before the virus, there would be maybe 5 or 6, maybe 10 people in each country who were invited to join the Diamond Club, and they would be extraordinary people. And then those people in different countries, it was kind of cool because it's basically you took the 10 most amazing people from 20 different countries, and then you kind of threw them together, and it was a special experience. What I'm trying to say is, you take a country of 100 million people like Mexico, or 1.4 billion people like China, or 1.39 billion India, which will pass China in this decade, I think, in population. So, and you take 3 or 4 special people from those people, then that's going to be a very unusual group of people. Now, if you take from each planet, maybe 10 people from each planet, then think of that as Mahayana. Think of that as Mahayana. It's a club. It's a how do you say that? Not executive, but it's very exclusive club of unusual people who have had a certain experience, and that experience is the direct experience of bodhicitta. They have, and that's, I don't know, all I want to say for the next 15 classes is one thing. If you have that experience of real bodhicitta, then you have the experience of jumping from planet to planet, billions of planets, billions of inhabited planets. You have this strange experience of jumping from planet to planet and meeting each living creature directly. So all the fish, all the birds, all the humans, directly. You meet them one by one directly, and you establish a bond with them. You establish a commitment with them. So think of it as jumping and committing or something like that. Okay, jumping from planet to planet and making a personal connection with the, I think there's 100 billion animals on this planet, for example. So, 80 billion, something like that. So you meet them directly. You make contact with them, each one, individually. And then you become slightly changed by that experience. And then that's Mahayana, okay? That's Mahayana. It's not some school of Buddhism, okay? That's not it. Mahayana means you have made a personal connection with countless billions of people, beings, and you've made a commitment to them, a loving commitment, similar to what a parent makes with their child, deeper, to help them, okay? And that puts you in a special club. And that's the first selling point of the bodhicitta new car. You will join an extremely exclusive club. It doesn't mean to exclude other people. It's not exclusive in that sense. It's just that if you just learn these instructions, and if you just try to do them, then something will happen to you as a being, and you become a different kind of being. You become a Mahayana being. So it's like a different evolution of a person into something higher, close to God, a being who is close to God, something like that. Like it's a very, very beautiful thing. And it's a very small group of people who are able to do it. So even to hear the instructions, even to sit through this class, for the next, 10 days, to hear it is extremely unusual karma. You must be close to it if you get to hear about it. Because you don't get to hear about this. Well, they didn't teach this at Princeton or anything. You don't learn this anywhere else. You must be an unusual person, and you must be very close to the door of the clubhouse to join that group of people, to enter the clubhouse of the Mahayana. You must be very close if you are listening to these instructions. So open your mind, open your heart, listen. It sounds impossible. It sounds like, oh, Geshe-la, that's nice. I'm not that kind of person. I'm not special like that. I'm not one person out of 1 million or 10 million. I'm just kind of me, I'm not that special. But he's going to, Pabongka Rinpoche is going to show why you are. And if you are listening to this talk right now, it already proves that you are qualified to be a planet jumper. Okay? You are very close. By definition, you are very close if you are listening to this talk right now. So just relax, learn the instructions, and then try. And it's so fun. It's so cool to jump over a few billion planets and meet everybody and make this bond with them. And that's what it means to join the Mahayana. So that's the first selling point for bodhicitta, and we finished it already. We finished it in the last retreat. So let's go to the second. By the way, you guys have an image for me for the first one, right? Which is, I like to call it joining the tennis team. And Tim, I have a setting. I'm seeing the settings over the poor tennis player's face. The settings screen. But yeah, there you go. Yeah, so I don't know. This means a lot to me because I spent many years in school trying to get on the tennis team, and finally I got on it. It's only 10 people are allowed. I was numbered 10 and a half or something, but I got in, And so it's sort of an exclusive group of people, and that's the kind of feeling I want you to feel. Like if you work hard, you can make that team. And it's hard. And it takes hard work. It does take a lot of hard work. Okay? All right. Let's go on to the second benefit. And we're going to start. Let's show the picture first, you guys. We have a image of, this is getting your college degree. And it's a funny thing. When I graduated from Princeton, I didn't attend the graduation because I had to work. I was on scholarship, and that was the last week of work. And then I paid off my loans the day I left in cash. And I worked 3 jobs for 4 years. And anyway, I didn't get to go to the graduation. I was actually setting up the tables for the drinking party afterwards. But so I didn't get to go to that graduation. But I did, not too long ago, my friends in Mexico invited me to the Congress. And UNAM? Yeah. It's the oldest college in South and North America. And it has 30,000 students, I think, in total. So they gave me a PhD, and I felt so honored, to get a PhD in the Congress. But then they started calling me Dr. Roach, and it sounded really weird, like some kind of insect doctor. And I didn't really use the doctor after that. But to get a PhD after my name, even though I already have a geshe, that was kind of, I don't know, it felt cool. It felt like a big honor to me. And to get up there and you wear a special suit and all these fat cats, what do you call gato, porto? Gordo, gato gordos. They were all giving me, stuff. And we became friends, actually, and that's where Green Stretch Pen came from that. This attempt to help all the kids in Mexico. But what I want to say is, it's nice to get a title, It's nice to someone says, you're a geshe, or you're a PhD, and that's the second benefit of getting bodhicitta. What's the title you get? Bodhisattva. And, I don't know about you, but this word bodhisattva is so beautiful, I don't know about you, but there's a song in the hippie days called Bodhisattva, won't you take me by the hand? And just the word bodhisattva sounded so sweet. And we didn't know exactly what it meant, but it was such a beautiful word, and it was such a beautiful sound that, yeah, I'd like to be called a bodhisattva. That's the second benefit, okay? People will call you bodhisattva. You get your bodhisattva degree. You get your bodhisattva title added to your name. And I know it sounds weird that, you should work hard to get bodhicitta, because then they'll call you Bodhisattva Alex or Bodhisattva Janice. And it sounds kind of artificial. Geshe-la, it's more important to be a bodhisattva than to get the title. But it's nice, come on, It's nice when someone looks at you and says, oh, look, there's a bodhisattva, And it's the real thing, We tend to think that if someone's a nice person, they make you a coffee at 5 o'clock in the morning. You say, oh, that person must be a bodhisattva. But to be called a member of the club of people who have jumped planets, to get, I'm in the club of people who have jumped planets and billions of planets. And then to be recognized by anybody as a bodhisattva and to be called a bodhisattva, it's a big deal. It feels really good, especially if it's true. It feels amazing. Yeah, I like it. I'm happy to be Mr. Bodhisattva Geshe Dr. Roach. Let's not. Okay, anyway. So let's go to the text, you guys. We're going to go through the text now. I'm forcing you to go through the text. I've been doing it for 10 years. I have gotten 10 years of steady complaints from people who don't want to go through the text. They say it's too difficult, and I don't want to learn that, and just teach me the thing, and I don't care. Just shut up, and I'm going to teach you the text. It puts a huge seed in your mind, okay? The people who wrote these texts are bodhisattvas, and this is what they decided to write, and it's unbelievable. It's just unbelievable. So the whole purpose of this retreat is to put seeds in your mind. You very probably you won't be a bodhisattva by the end of this retreat. But there will be seeds planted in your mind that will open into being a bodhisattva. And actually, if you're foolish enough to sit through these talks, you probably will get seeds that are unstoppable. Okay, so sooner or later you're going to be a bodhisattva if you sit through this retreat. Okay, how soon is up to you, but you will get the seeds, and a lot of the seeds are transmitted through the ancient wisdom, through the ancient books, and I really do think it's extremely important to stick to a real lineage, and one thing I can say, without pride or without exaggeration, is that this is a real lineage. This lineage was carried on for 2,500 years, 100 generations, purely, very, very pure, extraordinarily pure. And if you just hang in there, you will become a bodhisattva. And these are the correct instructions. And they have a real lineage. And we are honoring that lineage by learning those ancient languages. You don't have to learn Tibetan or Sanskrit. or Chinese. You don't have to. But to hear it is a powerful, powerful seed. And you will get that experience much, much faster of jumping. By the way, there's no more fun experience in the world except seeing emptiness directly than jumping around planets and getting to know everybody in the universe, okay? There's nothing like it. Once you've had that experience, it's very hard to have a bad day. You can have a sort of bad day, but not a real bad day, okay? It's like, so who cares about anything else if you've met everybody in the universe and made the commitment of a mother to a child to them? Then how are you going to have a real bad day? You know. So, okay, here we go. First, we have a quotation. Chanju Semke Gyurna Kechiki. You guys ready with the Tibetan there? Here we go. Yay. Nipani up just above that means here's the second benefit of getting bodhicitta, which is you get the title of Mr. Bodhisattva or Miss Bodhisattva, okay? Chanju Sem Kyurna Kechiki. If you get Chanju Sem, which means bodhicitta, Ke Gyurna, if it comes up in your heart, Kechiki, in a single finger snap, Korwe Tsunra Dampe, a person who is chained in the prison of samsara, a person who is chained into a mortal body, which is going to die and fall apart. Those of us over a certain age, when we get together, we just talk about our doctors. It's really funny. You know, hey, I got this new med, wow. You know, and so we are locked to this body. We are chained to this body. If you're under 50 or 60, you don't know what I'm talking about yet, but you will. Okay, and it begins to feel like you're chained to a mortal body, which is what you are. Okay, so in a single instant, even a person who is chained to a mortal body, Nyam Tak means those poor, poor people who are chained to a mortal body. Deshek Namki Se, third line. Deshek Namki Se. She Jeja, we call you a daughter or a son of the Buddha. Okay, even you are chained to a mortal body that's falling apart. Okay, if your body's not falling apart yet, that's the worst thing, is you don't even know it, because it is. Okay, if you breathe, you're falling apart. Okay, it just shows. It becomes more obvious after a while. Okay, but even those people who are chained to a falling apart body, if they can just get this bodhicitta experience, then all the Buddhas say, hey, that's my daughter, that's my son. Hey, that's my son, you know, that's my daughter. So even as you are chained to a falling apart mortal body, the Buddhas are so proud of you. They're like, that's one of mine. That's my kid, you know. So that's the second benefit. They'll call you a bodhisattva or a gyalse, okay? Child of the Buddhas, okay? Child of the victorious Buddhas, right? Nice name, really nice name. Sheja, they will call you, okay? So I would say the next image, you guys, if you have it, of a father hugging his daughter. Yeah, this is how I like to imagine it, you know? Like, it's not just that you get a paper that says you're an official bodhisattva, now bodhisattva cat, you know, it's written, the Buddhist gave you your degree, and now you can add it to your titles, you know. It's not just that. It's that you enter a new family. You take on a new status, okay? Can you show the picture? Yeah, you got it. Is there any way to drop the chat from my screen? Just so I can see the picture. Yeah, that's nice. So I like this guy. I like to imagine that this father is a Buddha and that he's hugging Gyalse, his daughter, you know, or his son, his bodhisattva, the new bodhisattva. So it's cool that you get a new title they call you a bodhisattva. That's nice. But to me, what's more important is you become gyalse, which means you become an official daughter or son of the family. You join, it's like a mafia family. You join the family. You're in the family. You're a Gambino or something. I don't know. You're part of the family. And think of how it feels that the enlightened beings of the world sitting on the beach with you hug you because they're so happy you're part of the family now. And that's, to me, that's the more important thing than the title bodhisattva. Yes, you are a bodhisattva, but more importantly, you're a Jinaputra. You are a child you are their special kid. And they hug you like that. And to be hugged by the Buddhas and be called their kid, that's such a beautiful experience, right? To join that family, to be recognized as a member of the new family, like you married into the family of Buddhas. That's awesome. It's an awesome feeling, okay? And by the way, that quotation above was from Master Shantideva's Guide to the Bodhisattva's Way of Life. And in this section, Pabongka Rinpoche is going to lean heavily on Master Shantideva. The opening lines of that extraordinary work talk about the benefits of becoming a bodhisattva. And so Pabongka Rinpoche is, a lot of the quotations are going to be taken from Shantideva's work. And if you can study Shantideva's work, it's extremely important. That's ACI courses 10, 11, 12. Yeah, and very, very important. You have no excuse not to study them. By the way, I've been getting a lot of questions lately. People say, well, now you've loaded Medicine Buddha on us, and you loaded Lam Rim on us, and you got all the mixed nuts classes, and, it's too much, Geshe-la. I'm starting to feel overwhelmed. And I say, I don't care. Okay? It's better to be overwhelmed than to die. Okay? So I don't care. You got to eat as much as you can, as I can feed you. And you just have to do it. Okay, I'm sorry. I'm reminded of a moment in my diamond business when the owner of the company called me in and said, how long does it take you to buy 10,000 diamonds? The factory manager is complaining about you. I said, well, it takes about 2 weeks. And he said, well, I want it in 24 hours now. And I'm like, you can't buy 10,000 diamonds in 24 hours. It's not possible. He said, FedEx delivers 25 million packages every day, overnight. You can buy 10,000 diamonds in 24 hours. Just do it, And I'm like, it's not possible. He says, what's your title in this? Show me your business card. At that time, I was a manager. He says, you're a manager, right? I said, yeah. He says, manage. Goddamn manage. Get out. He threw me out. He said, get out of my office. You're a manager, so manage, okay? You're a bodhisattva, so deal with it, okay? You're going to get a lot of teachings. You should be happy. You shouldn't be kvetching, this Yiddish diamond company word. Don't complain. Somebody complained to me, Geshe-la, I live in a tent. All the courses you wrote take half the tent up. I don't have room to sleep. Okay, so sleep outside. I don't care. Okay? Deal with it. Okay? You're a manager, manage. Okay? Learn everything. And later you'll thank me. That's what all parents say, right, Jenny? Later you'll thank me. All right. Here's a very famous line from Shantideva. You guys ready? Tering sangye riksuke sangye se sitagyeto. Very, very famous. This is part of the bodhisattva vow ceremony. In fact, if you just say those lines, supposedly you can get bodhisattva vows. At least a commitment vow. Tering sangye riksuke. Today I have joined the beautiful family of the Buddhas. Sangye se tagyeto. I have become a child of the Buddhas. Okay? And that's, again, a very, very famous lines from Shantideva. I'd like to read you the whole line. His version, which is not the version used nowadays in Tibet. Okay. Here we go. Tengdu dakse devuye, mi sipalepato. It's not in the text, okay? Tiring sangi riksuke, sangi says dak tengyur. Tani daki chine kyan written to me late samte. Kime timber de la nyopa minga data job. Very famous. I'll just translate quickly. Tengdu dakse devuye. Finally, I did something useful with my life. Mi sipalepato. Now you can say I have truly taken on a human birth. Why? Tiring sangi riksuke. Because today I joined the Buddha's family. Sangi Sesur Dak Tengyur. I became a child of the Buddha today because I took my bodhisattva vows. Tani Daki Chine Kyang. Now I have an extra responsibility. Rikdan Tumbe Le Tsamde. I have to behave in a way that reflects well on my family. I can't embarrass my family. Okay? I've just been accepted into a new family. I'm Buddha family member, Buddha clan member. Now I have a new opportunity. I can embarrass my new parents if I act in a selfish way. You know, if I don't sacrifice my desires for others, then I will embarrass my family, and they'll wish that I hadn't married into their family, right? Therefore, I promise I will never nyokpa my family. Nyokpa means if you make somebody a nice cappuccino and you accidentally pour some engine oil into it, that's called nyokpa. Okay. What do you call that? Like adulterate it with some crap. It's called nyokpa. Okay. I will not adulterate the Buddha family with my crap. You know, I will be a good kid. I will make my family proud, my new family. Okay. All right, let's go back to the Tibetan. You guys ready? Shepatar. Galway says Domi Dodila Raklete. The whole big question in your life is, did you get into the family or not? Were you accepted into the family or not? I don't care whether you can read other people's minds. I don't care whether you can fly in the sky. I don't care if you have PhDs in every subject in the world. I don't even care if you've seen emptiness directly. I don't care if you have eliminated your mental afflictions. Chantu Semba, if you don't have this attitude, we don't call you bodhisattva. You don't get to be. You can see emptiness and not be a bodhisattva. You can fly in the sky and not be a bodhisattva. You can heal people and not be a bodhisattva. Okay? Gyalwe say min and not be a child of the Buddha. Take chenki tesu on mitsu. And we can say you haven't joined the family yet. It's have you jumped the worlds or not? That's the question. Okay. Next paragraph. Semdi gila kepana. I like this one. You guys got the image of this animal? This handsome animal? Yeah. That's a jackass. And not a Burro is different. Okay, Burro is stubborn but useful. Jackass is just painful. Okay, and why I showed it here. Keep it up, okay, you guys. Semdi gila kepana. If you manage to get bodhicitta in your heart, de chi pakso tundo dang. Yunten shen mepi lemba pombudan dawashi yin yang teching you. You could be a dog, you could be a pig, you could be yunten shen mepi lemba, you could be as stupid as a jackass, but still you're part of the family. Okay, take chinki, chase it means you have been accepted as a member of the family. And I love this paragraph each paragraph of this text is packed with meaning. You could take one paragraph and meditate on it for a week. It was very hard for me to choose which paragraphs are more important, or it's very, very difficult. Every single paragraph is stunning and exquisite, So anyway, this means, look, we all are human, right? We all have faults. If you spend your whole life, which I have, trying to be a good person, and you fail many times, then you start to feel like some kind of idiot, or a donkey, or a horse, or something. You feel like a spiritual idiot, like you try really, really hard, and then still you have bad habits that you can't get rid of, and bad attitudes that you can't get rid of. And some lama spent their whole life trying to fix you, and you still feel like an idiot. Then there's hope, okay? Pabongka Rinpoche says there's hope, okay? Even you guys who tried so hard for so many years to improve yourself, and it's just, you feel like you haven't made much progress. He said, still you can be part of the family. We love you kind of guys, We especially enjoy welcoming into our family people who have bad habits that they can't get rid of. But as long as you jump a few planets, you can be in the family, okay? And you don't have to be perfect to be in this family, okay? You don't have to be perfect to be a bodhisattva. A bodhisattva is studying to be perfect, but they are not perfect already. The reason you become a bodhisattva is to learn how to be perfect. So we love imperfect bodhisattvas, because if you're a perfect bodhisattva, you're a Buddha. And we don't take Buddhas into the family. They're already family, okay? We want bodhisattvas, and bodhisattvas are people who are imperfect, and they have bad habits that they've been struggling against for decades, many years, and they have broken all these vows that their Lama gave them, and they have not been able to do their practice, and Netflix took over their mind. And we love those guys. Well, that's the kind of people we want in the family. We want bodhisattvas who are trying to be good. And Tering Sangye Riksake, today we welcome into the Buddha family imperfect people who want to be perfect. And that's what we really want. Those are the people we are really looking for, okay? So we're going to stop there today, and we'll take a break and, go run and have a pee-pee and a coffee or something. And then we'll come back in about 10 minutes, and we'll have a nice conversation with Dr. Wu about the Medicine Buddha practice and the Lamrim practice. Okay, see all your bodhisattvas in about 10 minutes. Okay.